I smell.
By the day, I'm like, I smell. Hello, party people. Okay, I wanted to get to this video pretty quickly because I feel like it could be one of those ones that she deletes. Also, I want to see what everybody else is saying about this video, and I don't want to spoil myself. So we're gonna get to the I haven't been honest with you video, like, out of order. I haven't decided if I'm gonna upload it out of order just for continuity's sake, but just know this is being recorded before, like, all of the other stuff that I'm trying to catch up on. Yeah, I just want to get to it before she deletes it. Also, I feel like I've missed like, I haven't been gone that long. And I feel like I've missed so much. So, we need to catch up. But first, we need to get into this video. And I'm just gonna give a little prediction here. It's giving very much privileged white girl crying because we all know that's how, like, they gain sympathy. And like, am I hitting the nail on the head? Because that's just what it seems like to me. I feel like she's going to be, quote unquote, coming clean about things. I also saw, like, a little snippet about it in the first couple, like, not even couple minutes, like maybe the first couple of seconds. And it sounds like she's talking about that post that she made on her Instagram, which I have the pictures that she posted. I'm not sure if it's still up or not because literally I went, she just popped up in my feed. So I grabbed the pictures real quick in case she took it down like she does and went on about my life. So I'm not sure if they're still on her IG, but I will probably insert them while she's talking about them, unless it's, like, not going to make sense. I don't know if that makes any sense. So either they'll be, like, when she's talking about it, or it'll be at the end, just so you guys can see in case you missed it and it's not still up. But yeah, so let's find out what she hasn't been honest about. Like, are we gonna get any honesty in this video? What do you guys think? Well, I'm sure you guys have already seen it, but I don't know if she's gonna get actually honest. So let's see. Guys, I wanted to do a cozy little chit chat with me. So there's been, like, this trend going around where people on Instagram say, like, let me de-influence you, kind of just sharing, like, pieces of their life that are not so perfect because, you know, social media can make your life look perfect. So I just went ahead and did. Oh, we are already starting off strong. Social media can make your life. So she's already not taking accountability. Absolutely no accountability. It has nothing to do with what you choose to show, how you edit your life, the things that you choose to lie about or omit, which is lying by omission, things that you have been specifically called out about and choose to ignore or lie about like you have in the past. But social media is to blame. Not you presenting a false narrative, not you trying to make everything look perfect like you have it together, not the way you've edited your videos, not anything that's your fault. It's all on social media. Great way to start off. That, and you guys have just been, like, so kind and supportive in the comments, and obviously not that kind and supportive or you wouldn't be having this little chit chat. And I'm just so grateful for the people who are still here watching. So I wanted to, like, go through what I shared and just, like, I don't know, have a real chat, because I know I don't always necessarily, like, break down on here anymore. I think motherhood has kind of made me a little bit more guarded when it comes to being vulnerable online, because it's no secret I'm not afraid to not be vulnerable online. I have many videos on here crying, sharing the hardest parts of my life. Yes and no, because even in those moments where you're crying and sharing things, you're not sharing in its entirety. And I'm not saying that she needs to share every little thing, obviously. But when it's something that you're being called out about or questioned about for transparency's sake because of who you are, yes, you do need to have a level of transparency. You are selling things to individuals. You are presenting a lifestyle that other people want to emulate. There needs to be a level of transparency and honesty there, and you can say until the cows come home, oh, well, she's not, she's not responsible, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but she is, to an extent, responsible. She's responsible for the content that she puts out, and she needs to put out content in a responsible way, as does anybody else who's making content. It is what it is. If you don't want backlash, then you need to think about what you're doing. Otherwise, live your life. If you don't give a shit and you're fine with criticism come what may, then whatever, live your life. But every time she gets a criticism, she has to clap back, whether it's in the comments, in her videos, her passive-aggressive attitude. And I'm betting that we're going to see some passive-aggressive attitude in this video. I'm just banking on it. Or on her Instagram, and she's been more and more. So this, motherhood has made me more guarded. I don't think so. I think it's made her more insecure because she knows that she's not a good mom. Because if what she shows online is any testament to what's going on behind the scenes, I would be extremely concerned. And if I were Yara, I would be extremely concerned, but it seems like Yara's checked out. I don't know. We have no idea what's going on. But from what she's showing us, it's scary. Like, it is very questionable. If you're a mom, you should be, feeling the same way. Like, unless you're the same kind of mom as Alex, which then, of course, you're not going to see anything wrong. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a mom. So, yeah. Girl, crying does not equal vulnerability. And to me, anytime you're coming online and crying like that about something that you've done wrong and you want people to forgive you, it's just a publicity stunt. It's a way to tug on people's heartstrings. People who are weaker are going to sit there and cry with you. Oh, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's a tactic that people have been taught to do in order to garner favor and pity and, forgiveness. And it's so played out at this point. Like, it's been played out, but even more so with someone who constantly cries wolf. Like, I think we're all over it at this point.
So I've never been afraid to, and I do feel like I've done a bit of a disservice not sharing, all the hard motherhood stuff I've gone through.
Again, can't accept accountability. You've had many people in your comments that you should know. It's not, I may have done a bit of a disservice. I have done a disservice, period, full stop. Just take accountability. You have done a disservice to your audience. You have done a disservice to the people who support you. So just say it. Own it. Stand up and say it. It's okay to be wrong, but you need to admit when you're wrong. And that's another part of transparency. That's another part of honesty. It's a huge part of growing up, which somebody who has been married, somebody who's now had a child should grow up. I mean, really, you're 30-something years old and you haven't learned how to take accountability yet. That's scary for a couple of reasons. The main one, you're in charge of a small human. It's absolutely unacceptable. And I may have done a disservice, but she begins that by saying, I've never been afraid. Tell me another lie. You're very afraid. That's why you only clap back. You're passive aggressive in your videos, but you clap back when you're behind the keyboard, which is ironic the way you talk about your haters. Because you're the very same thing. You are a keyboard warrior. That's the only time that you really clap back at people is when you're typing. So you have no space to be saying anything to anybody who's leaving you a comment.
Because I know there's a lot of moms who watch, especially new moms too. And I feel bad that I haven't shared as much, of my hard times on here. But like I said, I really think I feel a bit more guarded as a mom.
And you're afraid to be criticized. You don't want to be criticized for the way you're parenting because you know what you're doing is wrong. And I'm not saying she's doing everything wrong, but she knows deep down that what she's doing is misguided. We know that because of the little snippets that we do see. Okay, a lot of the things that people corrected her about that she fought people about. And she was wrong. She doesn't want to be criticized. She doesn't want anybody to tell her how to parent. She doesn't want anybody judging the way she parents. She doesn't want anybody, even if it's in a way to help her. She doesn't want anybody saying anything about the way she parents. I dare say she probably has issues with her mom because of it. I would be willing to go out on that limb. But she has also said, like when she was first, a first time new mom, like in that very early stages, she said she didn't want to share because she didn't want to be criticized about it. That time was sacred to her. Remember that, guys? Oh, this time is so sacred to me and I just don't want anybody, you know what I mean? So, and that's fine to feel that way, but then don't come down the line and try to change things and make it out to be like, oh, well, I'm just more guarded. No, you're not guarded. You're afraid because you don't want anybody to tell you what you're doing is wrong.
I think going through a lot of the hard stuff, the last 8 months of his life, starting with him coming, 5 weeks early, I think I really just wanted to deal with it like on my own without having to like kind of shield it, without having to worry about like other people's input and commentary on it, because it's just like another level of vulnerability versus just like my weight or like my relationship.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. She doesn't want anybody to criticize her. She can't handle the criticism, which fair enough. If you can't handle the criticism, then don't talk about motherhood online. You could have downplayed your pregnancy and everything. You could have not been involved in the TTC community and just kind of like shared, oh, I'm pregnant. Oh, we're having a boy. Oh, the baby's here. I'm going to take time off. It could have been that simple, but unfortunately for you, you made your entire personality and your entire channel about trying to conceive, being pregnant, and then being a mother. You literally didn't have to do that. You didn't have to. You also don't have to be on the internet. I guess technically you do because you are probably the breadwinner at your house, although we'll see how much longer that goes. But you can get a different job at any point in time. One that does not have thousands of people criticizing you. But I got news for you. It doesn't matter what kind of job you have, you are going to receive criticism. And if you can't receive the criticism, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, at a regular job, you will be fired. Because they don't care about your feelings. You're there to do a job. And if they tell you, no, you need to do it this way, you're not doing it correctly, or, you need to make this and this and this change, tears isn't going to work. You either do the job or you don't. It's very simple. And if you don't do the job, you can leave and they'll replace you because you're nothing but a number. You're not a person. You're an employee. You're a number. You're a paycheck. So I don't understand why she thinks... Where do you think you're going to have it different? You will be criticized by less people, but you'll still be criticized.
It's like this is such a separate thing and like the most sacred part of my life. And I just didn't want to hear any criticism about it, but I know it could have probably helped a lot of people also going through hard stuff.
In my opinion, this is all too little too late. The damage is done. You need to just move on, and I would just stop talking about mom stuff, honestly, because at this point, you've already done the damage. You've already lost that subscriber base, I guess. So, yeah, you're still going to have those moms or whatever. You'll have some moms in your audience, and I'm sure you'll gain new followers here and there, but the overall damage has been done. So make your apologies and move on. I would not bring this up again.
So I'm going to try to get more real and vulnerable about the hardships of motherhood. I think I also, it's no secret, I've received an insane amount of hate, like things you guys don't even know about. We've gone through off camera because of online hate. And that has also made me more guarded.
What things has she gone through off camera because of online hate? I am very curious to know about that. And I think she should shed light on that, because what the fuck is actually going on? Like things that we don't even know about. Like what? Like what? Are people showing up at your house? Like what's happening? Because this being vague, I don't know. It just kind of seems like you're exaggerating.
I'm cautious of what I share. And it's been hard. It's been really hard navigating this chapter because I am an open book. I want to share everything all the time. And I've had to guard myself and be really cautious. And, if I share too much, I feel scared. I feel uncomfortable.
You just said a few minutes ago you've never been scared.
It comes to the baby, but I also it's this constant push and pull in my emotions. Oh my gosh, did I really forget to change the battery? All right, I'm back, featuring my huge pimple that I couldn't help but pop. Yar was like, why can't you just not pop it? And I'm like, I don't know.
Looks like her skin's getting bad again too, so that should be interesting.
Is that not how we all are? And he's like, no, I'm not like that. I'm like, can't relate, darling. But anyway, I just wanted to apologize if anyone has thought my motherhood journey has looked perfect or really easy.
Okay, this is an insincere apology, and it does not take accountability. It shifts blame. So she says, I want to apologize if. If is a key word here. That implies that I didn't do anything wrong, and if you took it that way, that's on you, but I'm going to apologize for your benefit anyway. So you could call this a fake apology, but it is an insincere apology. The correct apology is, I am sorry that my actions made you feel XYZ. I am sorry that I gave off the appearance of perfect motherhood. It could be very simple.
I think it's been hard, but I think it's hard for everyone. I think I have a really great support system, but I do think there's a lot I have not shared. I just stubbed my toe and it's like, oh God. It's a little messed up. One of the things that I shared here said, being a new mom is the biggest blessing, but I am exhausted. Anderson had colic for the first 6 months of life and sleep wasn't great. We're in another regression now and it's tough. Keeping up with being the best mom I can be, taking care of myself, and trying to balance work and relationships is a lot. I put a ton of pressure on myself and honestly it's draining. And that's exactly where I'm at. I think another thing too, and I'm not just trying to sit here and make excuses about why I haven't shared all I've shared. Hi P. Hello. Hi Pee Pee Lou. It's like a dreary rainy day, Anderson's napping. And being in the thick of it for those first 6 months with Anderson was so hard too. And I feel like when I dipped my toe into sharing a couple times, the hate just overwhelmed me. I don't know how moms who share so much are handling the criticism because it's painful. And I want to be so transparent. I want to be so real, but it's scary.
So she can't handle the criticism. And let's be real here. She has called a lot of things hateful or hate, and we have seen it firsthand, and it's not hate. It's just criticism. So again, this is where I would say perhaps she should be a little bit more transparent about what these scary things are so that we're not just brushing it off. Because if it is a legitimate thing that's happening to her, then perhaps that's something that her audience, in whatever capacity possible, could help her with. But she's vague and she's elusive, and so we have no other choice but to go based on her personal behavior and things that she said and really not believe it or assume that she's exaggerating.
It's really scary because I don't want people to think I'm a bad mom when I know I love my son more than anything in this world.
You sure do have a funny way of showing it, and you did from the moment he was born.
I would do anything for him. I want to always put him first. He is everything to me. And the thought of that ever not coming off properly in a video is so scary.
You know what's scary about that is that there's a lot of people, I would say at least 100 or more people, who see that come out of your videos. Now, if it was one person, even like 10, 15 people, I would say, they don't know what they're talking about. But we're talking about hundreds of people, thousands even, of people who see that. And that is how you come off. We're not making the videos, you are. This is your channel. You're the one who's putting this content out here. And then when we pinpoint and show things, suddenly, oh, that's scary. It's just like nobody's out here making you say things or editing and splicing shit together to make a narrative different than the one that's on your channel. That's not what's happening. Nobody's taking things out of context like you're some kind of celebrity and somebody's trying to get one over on you. People are literally watching your videos and pointing shit out. Your subscribers in your comments watch your videos, support you, and point things out. And now it's come to the point that they have to tiptoe around you so nicely because you think anything that doesn't align with how you think is hate. These people have to bend over backwards to leave a comment on your page. And that's not a healthy environment either. Imagine what you're doing mentally to those people as well. So I don't feel bad for you because you have done this to yourself. You put out this content. So if it looks one way, then you need to take a look in the mirror and see what it is that you're doing wrong and see how you can improve these things.
And if I'm venting about motherhood or whatever I'm going through, I don't want people to take it the wrong way and like run with it a certain way.
Well, then maybe you shouldn't be venting online because that seems to be where you get into a big problem. Your audience is not your friends, and you have proven that time and time again. We're not your friends, we're not your family, okay? We are subscribers, we are dollar bills to you. So perhaps online is not the place for you to let your frustrations out regardless of what they are. Perhaps you need to have a support system, which you claim to have such a good support system. You need to have them step in so that you can vent to them. I'm very confused as to why you ever feel you need to rant and rave online the way you do if you have such a great support system and you're so blessed to have this support system. Something's not adding up there.
Because like I know my intentions, but like people can twist things and it's freaking scary. It's really scary. And truth be told, Anderson, when I say he's been a tough baby, it doesn't mean I love him any less. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with him. Like one time, and then like another time I remember I mentioned, I think I said Anderson was like, what did I say? Had a mentee bee. I think I said he had a mentee bee.
Isn't it strange how every time she does something wrong, she can never remember exactly what it was that she did? Like, so many people called her out for this. So let's watch that clip, shall we?
We did not last at the mall very long. Anderson had a little mentee bee, which is just like, it's a silly term. It's just the way we talk.
Considering that Menti B is short for mental breakdown, I would say that it was inappropriate for you to say that your newborn, I don't even think he was a month old at the time, child was having a mental breakdown. Okay, a baby, a newborn, does not have a mental breakdown. Maybe you as the mother are having one, but your child is dependent upon you for everything. They are helpless. They're not having a mental breakdown. They're communicating with you so that you know something is wrong and you need to do something as the parent. That's why people were so upset. And the fact that almost a year later, you still haven't figured that out says a lot about you as a person and as a parent.
It doesn't mean anything. And it's like, he is a baby. That's what babies do. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I didn't mean that, like, I hate him and he's horrible. Like, what? Like, babies are gonna have Menti Bs. It just...
Again, no, babies do not have mental breakdowns. That's what a Menti B is. They do not have mental breakdowns. They are communicating with you as the parent so that you can fix the situation that is making them either uncomfortable or upset or what have you. It's not about you hating your child. I don't think anybody thinks you hate him. But for you to call your child crying because they're hungry or they're tired or their diaper's wet or their stomach is upset, especially now that we know you were popping bottles, it's very callous. It's very cold and it's inappropriate. Children are not having a mental breakdown. They are having a issue. And especially when they are nonverbal, they are communicating it to you in the only way that they know how. If you don't want to deal with that, do not have a child. It's really that simple. Like, why are you so ill prepared for having a kid? Now, I can understand you saying, my son has colic, he's had colic this whole time. I'm having a Menti B. I need a minute. The crying is really getting to me. It's a lot. I wasn't ready for, all of that. That is more understandable than you sitting here saying your newborn child is having a mental breakdown and then trying to double down on that and justify it. Just no.
It's like a little tantrum. That's fine.
A newborn's not throwing a tantrum. They're not throwing tantrums. You really should have done some reading, or I don't know, somebody needs to help you. A baby is not throwing a tantrum. Okay, they don't have the cognitive ability at that time. They are literally communicating to you a need. They have a need. They are dependent upon you for everything. Everything. Like, who didn't tell you this as a new mother? Well, I don't think this video could possibly have been well received because it's like, I'm not being honest with you guys. So here, let me give you some things and try to double down on the stupid shit I said. Like, this video is worse than I thought.
Like, I'm so afraid to talk about anything bad. I know I'm so afraid I'm pushing away the good people who are here and by not sharing, and that sucks. So I'm going to try really hard to be more real going forward. Starting with, I love my son more than anything, but it's been hard. It's been really hard. I'm so lucky that my mom and Yar are so amazing. We have a really great family who's very helpful. But yeah, he was very colicky. There would be hours of just crying and screaming and nothing would help. No car rides, no rocking, no calm and peaceful, no distraction, like everything under the sun that the internet would recommend, that a doctor would recommend, that my mom would recommend, that anyone would recommend, nothing worked. The vacuum, like, we tried everything. And I am honestly still tired. I am still tired from all of it. It's caught up to me. He's almost 9 months now. His colic and those long phases of like chunks of crying went away around 6 months. I think him being premature, I don't know. It could be any baby can get colic.
So propping bottles can also cause colic because it causes a lot of air. Also, did you talk to the doctor about it? Because our daughter had colic. Well, she didn't really have colic. She just had like a little bit because it was not like a serious thing. And my doctor gave me, a list of things that we could do to help it or make it subside or whatever. And literally we just got into a routine of doing stuff and it was fine. So, but I was also breastfeeding my kid. I wasn't propping a bottle up. So maybe that's what caused it.
Discomfort. But yeah, we tried everything to comfort him. We ended up going on a special formula. We had tried every formula. I beat myself up for, using formula. I'm like, is that what's wrong? Like, there's so much that's gone through my head that like people just don't know.
I will say, if you chose to formula feed your child and then he was having issues, you should feel bad. Because there's absolutely no reason why he should have gone through those issues if you are perfectly capable of breastfeeding your child. So I don't know if there was a medical issue. She hasn't ever said anything to us. From what I remember her saying, she just didn't like it. So if that's the case, then you should absolutely feel bad. You should feel away because you put your child, the most important thing in your life that you want to put first, you put your child through distress because you couldn't be bothered to feed them the correct way, the way that nature intended. And I've talked about this before. It's one thing if you have a medical issue or, like a lot of moms have to go back to work and things get hard. That's one thing. I'm not talking about that. And those women absolutely should not feel away. But you, my dear, who have all the time in the world to take care of your son, you should feel away. So I'm glad that you beat yourself up about it. I feel like you still should be beating yourself up about it. You should absolutely feel away about it because you caused that.
And how much pressure and guilt I've put on myself in like every way. Like I genuinely just want to be the best mom for him.
You want to be the best mom for him, but you didn't want to breastfeed him, so you didn't. You didn't do enough tummy time, still don't, clearly, because he's still not reaching his milestones. You didn't take him to the park until he is over 7 months old. So you also don't want to get serious about losing weight. So what about this is you being the best mom for him? Please tell me what you're doing. Please tell any of us. You don't have to tell me. Just say, what is it that you're doing that would make us think that you love your son so much and you just want to be the best mom for him? What is it? Because I'm failing to see it.
And give him everything that he needs and deserves.
Except for the best thing you could give him, which would have been breast milk, right? Except for that. You couldn't even be bothered when you were or are feeding him formula to hold his bottle for him. So I have no words for this woman.
And that's another thing I put in here on one of my slides. It says, I spend way too much time worrying about the future, especially having a son and wanting the best for him. It's consuming. It is so consuming. By the time he is much older, I don't think I'll be online anymore. Like, that's so far away. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know what the future holds. I love creating content. I don't plan on going anywhere. But like, this era we're in petrifies me. I think about it way too much. I don't want him to have a phone. I don't want him to have an iPad. I don't want him to have screens. Like, I'm terrified of it. I just think it's ruining kids' minds and brains.
How are you going to manage that, Alex, when you spend so much of your time on TikTok, when you watch so much TV, and we know you watch so much TV because you tell us about it? How are you going to manage that when he goes to school? Because Lord knows you're going to send him to school. I would be shocked. So, to my core, if she homeschooled her son. And she shouldn't. She should not, because she is not intelligent. And that is very obvious by the decisions that she makes and the way she speaks. But he's going to go to school. He's going to be around other people, other children. and they do a lot of screens at school. So how are you going to manage that one? I would love to know.
And like having a kid, it's so crazy because like I worry about him so much. I could literally cry. I worry about him so much, and the time that we are in with AI and technology, and like I see teachers talk about how kids are so addicted to their phones and the constant dopamine, and then like I think to myself, like, am I part of the problem?
Yes, because you are absolutely addicted to your phone, and your son is going to pick up your habits. That's where they learn habits from initially, is from their parents. That's why people are always harping on you about your weight and stuff. People are also genuinely concerned for your son. It's not just you. You know, a lot of people give you great advice out of concern because they've been there, done that. But you're so afraid and you don't want to hear any feedback that you just consider it all hate.
Being a content creator, and I'm like, okay, I've been around a long time, and like long form content it was just like watching TV, and that's where like I kind of grew up with it. And now it's just like, I think if I had grown up in the time where it was just like scrolling TikTok, like it would mess with your head, especially these young brains that are so formative in their formative years.
You do understand he's already in his formative years, right? Like this from birth. That's why people are always telling you to read to your child. This is, oh my God, it's unbelievable how she's trying to act like she's some kind of knowledgeable resource on this, and she knows so little, and it's so painfully obvious.
Like it's just bad. It's just really bad. Like being a mom now, it's made me literally want to just like move to a farm, grow my own food, and get rid of technology.
You wouldn't survive because you can't grow processed foods. You can't even make healthy decisions now when you have the availability and the options. You think you're going to put in the hard work to grow all of your own food? Are you going to grow grain too and mill it down into pasta, or into flour so that you can make pasta? Because I don't foresee that happening. You can't be bothered to do that now. So I'm very confused where you think that you could survive off the grid. You can't. There's no... If you're going to live off of your own food, there's no more Chick-fil-A. There's no more Wendy's. There's no more Taco Bell. There's no more Chipotle. That kind of defeats the purpose of eating healthy.
And it's like, I know that that's like so extreme. I guess, I don't know, people do it. But like, I'm really trying to find like just this healthy balance, I feel like Yara and I do a really good job for us at having a healthy balance. And, being mindful, like putting our phones down, being present with each other, trying not to like we don't just sit next to each other and scroll for hours. Like we try to be present with each other when we can. Not that I don't want to say there's anything wrong with that, but you know what I mean? Like it's just, it can be a really hard thing to like pull away from your phone. And I know I've struggled with my mental health because of my job and the hate I've gotten from my job. And I think because I've seen that firsthand for myself, feeling so horrible because of reading bad comments, the thought of that happening to my son, I'm pointing to him because he's sleeping in his room. I'm like, I can't stand the thought of that.
Well, a couple things. It's probably best that you don't read hate comments. But the more important thing is for you to think that you can do anything to stop your child from somebody not liking them. You're setting yourself up for failure, to be honest. It's a nice idea, of course we don't want any harm to come to our children, but it's gonna happen, okay? People are gonna not, it doesn't, what is that saying? You could be the sweetest peach in the patch and somebody won't like peaches. Like, it doesn't matter. Not everybody's gonna get along. Not everybody's gonna like everybody. That's just the nature of people. And there could be no real reason why somebody doesn't like your kid, but they just don't like him. I'm sure they'll have valid reasons to not like people, and he's going to be the same way. He's not going to like, I'm sorry, kids can be terrible. Okay, kids can be mean and ugly to each other, and that is just the nature of growing up and how it is. Now, does that mean that your kid's going to be bullied? I would hope not. And if that does happen, I would hope that you would have the wherewithal to get that nipped in the bud as quickly as possible. But that, my Nana used to always say, don't go borrowing trouble. You are worried about something that may or may not happen, but it's not going to happen for so long. You really don't need to worry about it right now, especially with the state of everything that's going on. There's enough things to worry about. Even just being a mom in general, there's enough on your plate to worry about. You don't need to go borrow trouble from, 10 years from now. So that's another thing. And I get it because she claims to have anxiety and she claims to be an overthinker. And that is something, like, personally for myself, who has been diagnosed with anxiety and does overthink. I worry about some stuff like that too. And I just have to remind myself that this is not a problem. First of all, I'm not going to be dealing with it tomorrow. I'm not going to be dealing with it a year from now. So I do not need to worry about this potential problem right now. And I feel like she needs to go to therapy. Instead of talking to her family, talking to, her support system, talking to the internet, she needs to talk to a therapist. She needs to talk to someone who is licensed to assist her and give her the tools to process her daily life. Because I think at this point, she is so overwhelmed and looking for an out. The out is therapy. You need to go to therapy, please. Please go get some help. Be transparent about it or don't, or whatever. But just go get some help.
That makes me want to vomit. And now I understand why my mom gets so upset when she has to watch me go through hard stuff online. And why it just, like, breaks her heart, because I can't imagine my son going through that. And I just want to shield him from that so hard. And then I'm like, okay, I don't want him to have a phone until XYZ, but I want him to have communication with me. But I know he's going to get peer pressure because he's going to be the only one without a phone. Like, things like that. Like, I'm thinking way too much.
I think you put too much stock into what other people think about you, and because of that, that's something that you think that everybody else feels. I don't know about you guys, but I don't often care what people think. And now, of course, there's certain situations and certain people that their opinion of me and the things that I do matters. But on average, like strangers, random people I don't know, I don't care what you think. I really don't. Sorry to burst anyone's bubble, but she cares so much. And I have said this so many times. She desperately cares so much about what people think, and she wants to belong so bad. She wants to be the cool kid. She was never the cool kid. She was never part of the cool girls club, and now she's so desperate to belong, and she still doesn't. And I feel like she thinks that her son is going to be the same way, and because of that, like, she wants him to be cool. I feel like she's going to be one of those moms who lives vicariously through her son, if I'm honest. But also, she is so... she folds like a cheap suit. She comes down like a house of cards. She's so weak. She crumbles at everything. So peer pressure for her is... I can't even explain how stupid peer pressure is, okay? Because that's the thing, like, oh, everybody's doing it. Okay, so what? Who the hell wants to be like everybody else? Do your own thing. Go your own way. Why do you have to be a follower? Be a trendsetter. Don't don't just do shit because, oh, it's trendy. That's got to be the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Now, if you see a trend and you're like, oh, that seems cool, that seems like something I would like, that's one thing. But if you're doing something purely because it's a trend, oh, well, I saw so-and-so do it, so I have to do it, but you have no actual desire to do that, Stop. Please get a brain. Please get a life. Do your own thing. Yeah, and she, unfortunately, she is that person. She follows every trend. She wastes money and does the stupidest shit for a trend. So peer pressure for her is like the end all be all. And she's terrified that her son is going to face that because she knows how she is on peer pressure and how it affects her. And she feels like her son's going to be the exact same way. And I'm curious to know how Yar is about peer pressure. Like how he is with trends and stuff. Because I feel like he's not so much of a trend follower as she is, but he's not far off. Just my thoughts.
My mom literally is like, girl, he's not even one. Things might be different when he's older. Like, don't waste your time thinking about it. And I saw a lot of people commenting saying that, like, as new moms or moms in general, they also just like are consumed with overthinking and worrying. And that's something like I've really had to, or I'm still rather processing and dealing with. I will say my postpartum experience personally was pretty good, genuinely. I had a little bit of baby blues and I got really weird and sad for like I don't know, a couple weeks where I was like, I felt really sad for Bruno.
I love how she still tries to downplay it by calling it baby blues. Baby blues is postpartum depression. Okay, and just because you only experienced it for a short amount of time and it was mild doesn't mean you didn't have it. So please don't try. It's surprising to me that she didn't jump on this bandwagon, but don't try and like downplay it and mitigate it by saying, oh, it only lasted for a little bit and I was only sad about this. And you had postpartum depression, full stop.
And I was kind of processing that like my old life was gone. This was my new life because him being 5 weeks early, I thought I had more time to mentally prepare. I had more things I wanted to like do before he came. So that was kind of like the biggest mind screw of it all. But I didn't struggle with like postpartum like depression. And I was very lucky in that way because that was one of my biggest fears. It's no joke. If you're going through that, please talk to your doctor.
Everything you described is a mild form of postpartum depression. What the fuck are you talking about?
There's nothing wrong with getting help, going on medication, and talking to someone. I don't know if because I'm already on Prozac, maybe that helped. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Please take your own advice and get some serious intensive therapy. You desperately need it.
But the bottom line is there were nights where me and Yar would just have to take turns holding this crying baby that you feel so helpless and you just want to help them and make them feel better and nothing is working and you just have to love them and wait and comfort them in any way even though it's not working. It's torture. It is torture watching your baby cry and there's like nothing you can do. Like the doctor literally was like, if you have to put him down and like leave the room and take a minute, like that's okay. And I'm like, I don't even think I could do that. Like the whole thing, it was exhausting, mentally draining, made me physically nauseous. Like I do. And then the love I have for him, I just like, I think about all these other things he's going to go through in his life. And I'm like, damn, how am I going to, I know I'll cope with it and I'll be fine and I'll help him through it. And me and Yar will parent him and give him love and guidance. But like the thought of having to watch him go through hard things, like my heart, like it just hurts my heart. And also I think another big thing is for me, since having a baby, I am more sensitive than I didn't even think that was possible. Because I am a sensitive, highly sensitive person with a lot of empathy and I feel things really deeply and it's a beautiful thing, but it's a hard thing. I pick up on other people's energy and I feel things deeply. And being an empath now with a baby, like it's gone through the roof. I feel like everyone I look at now, I think of them as an infant. And I just think like, it makes me like so emotional to think that there are kids going through horrible things, you know, and that like why, you know what I mean?
Well, you could get one why answered. You could just ask your dad why he did what he did. Because that was a kid, a little girl, going through something because of what he did. And, you know, you could just ask him since you guys have such a wonderful relationship now.
I do. I literally am crying. Like, I think about kids that are going through these hard, horrible things, and like it's just not fair.
Oh, honey, life is not fair. Hasn't anybody told you that yet? Haven't you learned that lesson yet? Life's not fair. We all make the best of the hand we're dealt. That's just how it is.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, why can't he just be loved? Like, why can't everyone be loved the way we love Anderson? And that like breaks my heart, you know? I look at other people, you know, and I think of them like, I'm like, they were once like a baby, like their life, like how was their life shaped so that like they became the person who they are? You know what I mean? I don't know if this is translating at all. I hope there's other moms watching this and they're like, yes, I get it. But like, it's this deep, like, I don't know how to describe it other than it's just like this feeling of wanting the best for everyone as their little baby self, and like maybe people turn out the way they are because of what they've gone through, and it's made me even more empathetic than I was before, and it's tough.
Have you tried reaching out to that young girl that your father hurt? Have you apologized to her for the part that you played in, I'm sure, opening old wounds and hurting her even more by writing those letters? Have you even tried to reach out to her at all and see if she's okay? But you care so much and you want people as their little baby selves to just have the best. Well, that's something that you could do in your own personal life that would probably go a long way and help someone have closure.
It's tough, but like I said, it's beautiful in its own way. So I think, I don't know, I think that might be like one of the harder things I've gone through since becoming a mom. It's just like feeling things deeper than I've ever felt. And then on top of it, like I'm trying to lose weight to feel my healthiest self.
Wait a minute now. Health and weight are not the same. Isn't that you? Same girl, right?
For my son. Like, because all day I'm playing with him on the floor. I'm up and down, bringing him upstairs, like carrying him. And I just like, I think about when he's running around and I want to chase him, and I want to be healthy for him.
I get the sentiment, but it's also a lot of pressure to put on another person to live for them, because then they kind of feel a way about it when they get older. Just saying.
And I don't think you, like I say it all the time, you don't have to be super thin by any means to be healthy. But like right now, like getting up and down, I'm like, after a while, my knee hurts. I'm out of breath. I'm like, I don't want to feel that. I just want to be like active and agile and ready to play. I just, you know, so, girl, I don't know what this video is. It's just me talking. I was trying to focus on, my post. The other thing I said is my house is clean because we have it cleaned professionally. Every 2 weeks, it helps a lot, and I'm grateful we can do that. We had our house cleaned this morning. Anderson and I went over to see my mom while they were cleaning, and I'm extremely grateful for that, because even keeping up with it between the 2 weeks can sometimes feel very overwhelming. People with multiple kids, you're amazing. It's hard. I feel like I am just constantly cleaning and wiping counters and picking up the playroom and changing my clothes because they're spit up, and doing laundry, and the fridge. I need to clean the fridge. I feel like I'm constantly buying groceries. I feel like I'm constantly cooking. I feel like I'm constantly counting my points. I feel like I'm constantly just trying to keep my head above water.
Wow, it's almost as if she's an adult who has responsibilities. Imagine that. And she didn't clean before she had a kid? Like, I don't understand. Okay, yeah, there's more laundry to do. You know how you could stop constantly be buying groceries? Use your Costco membership and actually buy things in bulk. You get the things in bulk that are either shelf stable or can last a while. And then once or twice a month, maybe even 3 times a month, you go to your local grocery store and you get your perishables. This is really not a hard concept. You chose this life. That's another thing. Nobody asked you to get married. I mean, supposedly Yar asked you to marry him, but nobody asked you to have a partner. Nobody asked you to have a kid. You wanted this life. You wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. You wanted to be a stay-at-home wife. You got those things. So why are you bitching now that you got the job you wanted? I'm so confused how this is not meant to come off as ungrateful, how this is not meant to be complaining. You have somebody come to your house and you have so much time that you can leave the house so they can clean. Do you understand that? You just leave your house and you go somewhere else so that somebody else can come and clean your house instead of you spending that time cleaning. I'm not saying you have to clean it at that same exact time, but, and you know it's stupid, that's why you leave the house. Because you don't want to deal with the uncomfortableness that would be that person thinking, you're here. You're not busy. Why am I here? Why are you paying me to clean your house? Because I know that's what I would be thinking. But I don't clean other people's houses. I clean my own house. But yeah, it just, the whole thing seems very farcical to me.
And I think that might just be motherhood. Another one, since having a baby, Bruno overstimulates me so much some days. I try to give him tons of love, but I feel bad he's not the only baby anymore. Like I said, after having Anderson, when we came home, Bruno's my first little baby. He comes everywhere with me. He's been there with me through a miscarriage, getting pregnant. He like knows when I'm going through something. He's always near me. Like he's always just like right here next to me. Like this is my little angel. And I felt coming home with Anderson, I just felt like this insane, overwhelming wave of guilt because he wasn't the only one anymore. And that was a really hard thing for me to process.
Did that not dawn on you at any time during your pregnancy? Because from the time that you were pregnant, he's no longer the son. You have a real son now. Like, did that never occur to you at any point during your pregnancy? You didn't feel like you needed to maybe make peace with that while you were pregnant?
And then I feel we still try to give him so much love. Yar and I are extremely aware of Bruno. We make sure we give him that attention. When Anderson goes to bed, he's always like, even when Anderson's up, he's always snuggled with us, but we try to just give him so much attention and love. But like sometimes he's overstimulating. The baby might be asleep and a package comes. He starts barking, that wakes the baby up, baby's crying. And it's just like, oh my God. And it's just like, it's so frustrating and it's hard. And then you feel guilty for getting frustrated and mom guilt. Make a whole nother video on mom guilt. So you know what I mean? And I feel like a ton of people go through that with their pets too. It's like, it's a bunch of mixed emotions. Like I love watching him with Anderson. Oh my God, Anderson loves him. Anderson will look at Bruno and just smile. He just smiles. And Bruno's always giving him a kiss, licking his cheek, or just like curling up next to him when we're all on top of the bed, just hanging out. It's so cute. It's the best. It's truly the best. But I just, I think in the beginning, I think I'm adapted now.
Why would you have said he's overstimulating in present tense if you're adapted now?
But in the beginning, I felt super guilty about Bruno not being the only baby anymore. And then like, it's like, oh, well, am I allowed to say that? Because like I had a miscarriage and I've wanted a baby for so long. Like, I'm not allowed to say that. It's like, no, like feelings are valid and I should be allowed to say what I feel.
I mean, whatever, you feel how you feel, it is what it is, but I just feel like you could have spent the 8 months making peace with the fact that he's not gonna be he's not gonna be your baby anymore. I don't think it needed to be some big ordeal after you had your child. And also, yes, there should have been some forethought because you do want to have a kid. Like, you don't need to feel guilty about it. You can sit with that feeling, like, yeah, he's not going to be my little baby anymore. But I don't know. That whole interlude was weird.
Anyway, and then the last slide says, I've been making YouTube videos since 2011. My views are not nearly the same as they used to be. It's hard to process that I've probably peaked and it will never be the same again, but I'm so grateful I still have people here with me. And that last sentence is the most important part of all of this. I am so glad any of you are still here and still supporting me.
Then act like it, because you owe those people everything. They are the ones who are still making sure that you have views, that you are still getting sponsorships, that you are still getting a paycheck. So you should just act a little bit more, even if it's pretend, you should act a little more humble and a little more grateful for the audience that you have.
And especially, there's so many people who have been here for so long that will never cease to amaze me when I see people say, I've been here since you lived in your mom's attic, been here since you worked at Mac, like, just so long. You've been here for so long, and like, you feel like we've grown up together. And like, I feel like I've grown up with you, honestly, because I've grown up with YouTube, and like, you guys are my YouTube family. This has been a part of my life for so long. Almost half of my life I've spent on YouTube. And that is the craziest feeling ever, but like the most beautiful thing. And like, I can't see myself ever not doing it, because like, I love it. I love making videos. I love video diaries. Like, there are points in my life where I will literally like just look up videos and rewatch them from like a vacation we went on.
Called it. I knew she rewatched old videos.
Or I've watched my birth vlog a few times and I cry every time. Just, I don't know. It's me. It feels like me being on here. And like I said, it's been hard to process that I feel like I've peaked, you know. I used to get like a lot more views, go on brand trips or whatever. And it's like, I have processed that that's just not where I'm at anymore. I have vented about it to Yar, and like, he's like, you're just in a different phase of your life. Like, it's beautiful. Like, cherish what you had, cherish what you have now. And like, that's what it's all about, just being happy where you're at. And like I said, I'm just grateful that anyone is still here and that I'm still able to do this and be here and be with you guys and be able to make this, still have this as my career. I know that that is a huge blessing, a huge blessing that I don't take for granted ever. But of course, it's hard not to beat yourself up and be like, well, what can I do more of? What can I do better?
Your subscribers have literally given you a multitude of suggestions, but you consider it hate, so.
And, you know, I'm like, I am giving everything I have to every part of my life right now, truly. Like, in work, in motherhood, in relationships, in my health, I am literally at full capacity.
Well, for her sake, I hope she never loses this job, because if this is full capacity, I would hate to see her at a 9 to 5.
And I try to like take once or twice a week just like a little time for myself by like going to the gym or watching my show.
Wait, I thought she said she goes to the gym 3 times a week. I'm just really confused what the hell she's doing all day, because her kid is always sleeping. You know, they're supposed to sleep 10 to 14 hours a day, right? This kid has got to be sleeping at least 14 hours a day, if not more. Yar's at work. What the hell is she doing all day? It's not, having a baby is not this complicated. I just don't. And the longer we go on in this video, the more of a pity party it feels. The more it feels like, oh, woe is me. You should feel sad for me. You should feel bad for me. Watch my videos because I'm doing the best I can. I just can't get on board with this.
But it's then I feel guilty for that. there's the mom guilt. But like, if you're also a new mom out there, or you're just going through a lot, like, you gotta take time for yourself and have a minute to reset, or you will lose your mind. Like, you've got to take rest, and then you can show up better for everyone and yourself after that rest. I don't know what else, if there's anything else I want to share about motherhood. I mean, it's just, it's never going to be easy. It's the most beautiful gift ever, but it's hard, of course. And I'm sorry I haven't been as transparent as I should have been about the hard stuff. It was mostly just out of fear. And you guys deserve to know. And
now, where have we heard this before? I wish I had this video, but I swear it's like exactly word for word her tummy tuck apology video. I swear it is.
Relate to the fact that, like, there are challenges. And it doesn't mean you love your kid any less at all. All right, construction just started across the street, so that's actually perfect timing. I'm going to end this here. I hope you guys enjoyed just chatting with me, and to all the new mamas out there, you're doing amazing. You're doing amazing. Amazing. I'm so proud of you. I love you. Everyone out there, you're doing amazing. Just do your best. That's all you can do, okay? I love you.
Well, that's over. Thoughts. I had many and so many more that I didn't even bother to say because you already know the deal. But I just can't get on board with the pity party bullshit. Like, it's, she's talking about she's crying and she's like making that sound like she's crying, and I didn't see any tears. Maybe you guys did. But yeah, I also don't subscribe to the whole we're all winners bullshit. Sorry if you do. I don't. There are winners, there are losers. There are winners at life, there are losers at life. It is what it is. There has to be yin and yang, guys. Come on. But yeah, I feel like this was, like, did that post get a lot of backlash or what? Because this seemed like it was kind of an apology video, but it just seemed like a way for her to dance around things and not quite apologize for them and not really take accountability for anything, but to like shift the blame and burden onto like, oh, well, this is why, and these are my excuses, even though she specifically said she wasn't going to do that. I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. I definitely want to hear what you guys are thinking. Please leave some comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next reaction video, whenever that is.